We will call to order the October 14th meeting of the Littleton Park and Recreation Commission. First thing on our agenda is a request from the Presbyterian Church to rent a park for Halloween party on October 17th.
So they put in this request last week. So they had done a karaoke party before. I think that was in June. So that's what they're looking to do again. My only concern that I have is the time requested was 4:30 to 9 p.m. And right now sunset is at 6 p.m. and there's no lights on in bay. So I did invite them to come by. So I don't know if anyone's gonna stop in. It looks like we only have 2 people on online, which would be me and Dave. So
Yeah, they would have to.
I don't know how to fix their lighting issue. So I don't know if they perhaps want to do it maybe earlier, or if they're okay with 4:30 to 6. I'm not sure. So
Or if there's some lighting involved with the karaoke stuff or limited lighting.
perhaps, so I mean, I can definitely follow up with them. But I would definitely say if they're not planning on doing any sort of additional lighting, I would not suggest to go till 9 p.m. That would be my feedback. Because it is very dark down there.
Yeah, I also don't know how. I know we did the summer and neighbors would feel about karaoke too.
I think they did it before, but I don't know if they went all the way to 9 p.m.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for cleaning.
Perhaps, yeah.
And typically we say parks closed at sunset or dusk or whatever we call it.
Yeah. Dawn to dusk, it's open.
Right.
Yeah.
Other comments, questions?
I think just some follow-up is needed, just to let them know that it's gonna be dark out there.
Yeah.
I guess what I would say, given the timing, is that we go ahead and just authorize you to make that decision.
Okay.
Yeah, they have lighting and then.
Or can work out the timing or
Yeah.
whatever it is. I don't have any objection to the event.
Right.
No, just logistics.
Lighting, yeah.
Okay.
And I would say off of your comment about till 9 p.m. Now that's, well, Friday nights, that's not a school concern issue, actually. It's
Yeah.
not like it's a Thursday night. People are like, oh, trying to go to bed.
Right, yep. Commissioner updates.
Nothing for me.
Okay.
So I went to Oktoberfest and I'm just curious if we made a decision on different vendors, or if we just had better luck getting vendors last year. It just seemed like there was a lot more activity last year than this year.
Okay. I think we did put out requests for vendors to be there. And we did not hear back from a lot of people. You're talking about kind of like the craft
Yeah.
folks. So everything else was essentially the same, just different location. So that has some to do with it. It's not the location that we're at, 36, isn't the big wide open parking lot. But I can definitely let Tim know that, you know, maybe we put out that advertisement for in advance and see if we can get more.
Yeah, it just seemed like last year there was a lot more going on than this year. This year was definitely drinking or kid focused.
Yeah.
And I was welcomed when I arrived with, there's no bratwurst. I was like, whoa,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I'm like, that's disappointing to me too,
Oh, okay.
but this was how I was welcomed. So that was a disappointment.
Interesting. Okay.
And then the other note was, I don't know if do we have games like we had last year? Like the Stein hoist and the,
For some reason, we didn't end up doing that. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
I think it just, you know, the bands had continued on and there was like, so not like a natural break to do that, but yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, because again, I was distracted right away about the bratwurst. But if there was a sandwich board up front with different bands and who's playing at what time might be a nice addition for future. If it wasn't there, I don't know, because I was fully immersed in what
You're
was happening.
protecting the defending champion. Wasn't able to be there.
He wasn't able to be there. That was not the intent.
That
though.
was true.
That was
It
bad.
is true. Yeah, he had elsewhere to be, but
Yeah,
that's really funny. Okay, I will pass that on.
Is it, I mean, so I was there early. Then we had this discussion and it certainly sounded like the intent was to have the Steinway.
Yeah.
yeah,
I got
we were
lost.
there
In session.
noon time-ish. And I didn't know if I missed it or whatnot. Another question that was proposed to me while we were there was, given how awesome the club space is that something we would ever entertain renting out to people within town?
So that is something we are trying to figure out. So the building itself has been paid with a bond, and legally we're not allowed to. So I think town administration was looking into that with town council to see if there's a way to reorganize that so that that could potentially be a possibility. Because there definitely were more theater related requests. But currently right now, no, we're not allowed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
There evidently might be an appetite for that in the
Okay.
future.
All right.
People with kids with winter birthdays were like, this would be amazing.
All right.
Norm?
No, I wanted to talk to Tim to make sure we get it. Sports commission, sports council
Okay.
meeting scheduled. I think he had said January news time.
Yeah, that's typically what we do. We want to do one sooner than later.
January's fine,
Okay, okay.
because everything's sort of wrapped up now, I think,
Yeah.
but will be in
Week or two.
another 10 days.
So I also went to Oktoberfest very, very early, so I didn't apparently catch the flag that you did.
It wasn't lunchtime yet.
But great space and hopefully kind of maybe a permanent location, so we build on it and maybe
Yeah.
do some more things there, so. I guess the other piece, the Charter Commission is actually meeting, they're doing a public information session tonight. I did go to their meeting last week, I think. And the leaning, at least at the moment, appears to be that this board will remain elected in their recommendations, so. That's one of the things they were tasked with looking at was will boards be elected or appointed. At least years, although the decisions are final. So.
Right.
they would recommend we stay. Encourage anybody who's interested in that to go look them up and see what they're up to.
Okay. I did not get the minutes out, so I apologize for that. So I have that table to November. I will get those out sooner than later, so that'd be great for that. Update on the projects. So tennis courts are open. They have been, use them before there's snow on them. There has been quite a few people out there, because when we go out and, check on everything every week, we used to see like lots of scuff marks out there, so that's a good sign it's being used. And we've seen a few folks out there, so, it's great to see that.
So I do have a question. I remember people asking before they were open, is it obviously school, if tennis team would get first come, first serve, because
Yep.
that's their thing.
Yep.
But otherwise, I saw, just for our listeners out there, it's an hour limit if people are waiting, otherwise it's first comes, first serve, is
Yeah.
that the deal?
Yeah, and we're working with there's what do you call it, like a software app that's, I believe it's free, that we're trying to work with to set up, that would arrange for people to be able to schedule. Just if it ever gets to the place where it's like super busy, it's really nice to have something like that, already in, working order. So, we're working on that, but yeah, for now, if there is some sort of like line of people waiting, and you've already been playing for 60 minutes, we would ask that you give that to the next folks that have been waiting. And that would be the same for the pickleball over at the high school as well.
Is there a sign that says that in fenced-in area at all?
No, I'll have to double check on that one. I think we did create signs, I'm just not sure if they're out there yet. So I will.
And for the people on the back, pickleball's the same rules, but it's at the high school.
Correct. That is correct, yes.
Speaking of signs, that reminds me, the permit parking signs are still at the beach.
Okay, they're coming down. We are going out this week to take out the dock.
Okay.
So we will have impact drill in hand to take them off, I suppose. Hopefully that will work. They're probably like locking washers and probably have to like
There.
shear them off, but we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Okay.
We have no signs for the spring. No.
Mhm. Okay. So Whitcomb, I apologize for the sad looking photos because it's all dreary outside. The other ones, it's like, look at this tennis court, it's beautiful,
Yeah.
sunny,
Right.
beautiful day, and then it's like, but no, the project at the Whitcomb baseball field is just coming along wonderfully. It's really beautiful. At this point, there's not a whole lot left for the project itself. The dugouts were installed last week. The 40-foot poles with the net have been installed. You can see that in the photos. There are some last bits of sod that will need to be put on the infield, so you can see they actually regraded and leveled all of the infield to be true with home plate. So they put a lot of effort in there, making it really, really nice. So you can kind of see the area off to the side is a little bit scruffy, so that's where the sod's gonna end up being put in. And then they're starting to put down the stone foundation for the porous pavement that's gonna go in, and that porous pavement should be the last component of this project, other than going through and doing a punch list. So they've put in so much hard work. It's been yeah, amazing to watch and, it's one of those things like you don't realize how much you need a renovation until you see these things. Well, okay, Norm. If you're not like in baseball every single day, right? You'd be like, oh, there's a baseball field, it's fine. No, like the amount of detail that they put into this has been extraordinary. And it's going to be a beautiful facility. It is. But yeah, once we're actually out there and able to use it, so yeah,
It's a substantial upgrade.
massively.
Are there bleachers for fans to sit at? Okay,
They're not ready.
cool.
So if I
That's
go
what
back,
some of those pads, there's.
I guess that doesn't really show
But
it.
just pads for them.
Okay, nice.
There's like where there
That
is,
might be one right there.
yeah, that
Fencing.
is, so where the fencing and those poles are. So that is one pad that they'll put bleachers on, and then there's one on the opposite side field as well.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then the dugouts, those were the other cement pad that was put down in there, so those are really cool. Once the porous pavement's up, then they can finish putting all the rest of the fencing on. They just want to make sure they can pour it, and if there's not any, issues that are gonna mess up that pavement, so. Yeah. It's very exciting, and I am pretty sure, I mean, I will say the completion is expected at the end of October, but it might even be like the end of this week, which is phenomenal. So, yeah, they're doing really great. Okay, questions? Cool. You can do it. Maybe. There we go. Went too far. All right. So this is the review of the draft for the transportation policy. It's a one pager. This is from Harrington and Peep, our town council. I think I sent it out a while ago, but yeah, I'll let you guys discuss and.
Will there be like a sign off? This is given to staff, and they sign off that they read the policy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had also, we talked about implementing this as a policy. We would also include it into our seasonal staff training so that they're aware of this. Yes, as we go through, when we typically go through all of the other policies that we have, we do have the staff sign off. They understand it and they, been through it with us.
Are there other policies either with camp or elsewhere, like? Anyway, we talked about like you can't take people in, or you have to have two people in the car, things like that.
Well, so I guess it's not really an on paper policy. But we do not transport kids in our own vehicles at all. If we did, let's say, have to transport, let's say there's like a couple extra kids, yes, we always have two staff together. If there's with, especially one kid. But lower numbers, you would have two staff members. And that would only, you'd see that in like the truck, if we had to use the truck or something. But otherwise, like our own personal vehicles, we will never use those.
I mean, I think that those are things we probably should incorporate into a formal policy.
Okay,
Whether it's. Then, yeah, I mean, it's part of this. It's not really covered by this. It doesn't seem to be really covered by the town policy.
yeah, Other than those two items, is there anything else you would like to see in that?
Um, So.
We have an age requirement.
Again, with any of the vehicle laws, they're really vague. I would say, at least my understanding is you have, like, if you're gonna sit in the front seat, which we don't like kids sit in the front seat anyway, they would, I believe, have to be 14 years of age or it's over 90 pounds.
I was thinking more, we have an age requirement for people who are driving.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's, so typically, we're only going to allow somebody 18 or older to drive. But if we do, I mean, obviously you'd have to have a truck. When we go through the process, we actually do an RMV background check. So you have to meet the, requirement for that if you have any sort of, if you're like close to being over with your points, we would not let that person drive.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we have to do Tory and the RMV background check. And again, internal policy, not written, is that plus, we want them to have some
Yeah.
experience, not just gonna throw
Okay.
a new driver, in with a 12-passenger van.
Yeah.
Not a great idea.
Yeah, I would say. Anything that you have as an internal unwritten policy should be good.
Agree.
So all of those things.
You need a line in here that says, follow all like speed limits, driving rules of the road type of thing. It's one thing I don't see in here. I mean, it's inherent in your license, but
Right.
I think this one is specifically related to like the transportation, like the vehicle itself, but I guess we can add
rules of the
those
road.
things in. There is a town driving
Oh, it's the
policy that,
vehicle use policy.
so
What's that?
they do sign off on that. And that is pretty in depth with all of those things as well.
In terms of the 48 hours, is that, I mean, I know it was an issue, which is why we're talking about this, but in previous instances, has that been an issue? Is that something that could trip you up, or is that something we can adhere to without issue, 48 hours?
What do you mean exactly?
It says, making sure that vehicles are available at least 48 hours prior. I just want to make sure we're not setting false expectations for the staff.
Right. I think that 48 hours, it seems pretty appropriate. I mean, things happen, like we've had, buses break down.
Right.
So there's things like that. And typically in that situation, the bus company would send another bus to come pick up the kids. As far as it goes with, our vehicles, if there's something. Yeah, if we will check all the vehicles to make sure that they're okay. I mean, we take them through, we do the annual inspection, we go through and give them a once over at least once a year to, tell them to check everything, make sure it all looks good. And that's outside of doing the inspection. So, we do pretty good for maintaining those vehicles.
But
Yeah,
availability 48 hours prior, just want to make sure that's attainable, that you're not setting yourselves up for a false and you're failing it out of the gate.
Well, I believe so, but
Okay.
I mean, stuff happens, so I.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's and it's gonna be something like the field trip programs where, or no, maybe it would be, or something like it's planned as a beach activity, it's a rainy day.
Yeah.
You wanna take them somewhere,
Mhm.
if you don't, yeah.
And that's more of a realistic situation of something that might happen, but again, that's a reason why. You know, we do take it into to make sure that everything is okay with it. We do ask, and it's part of the driver vehicle, the driver use policy is to, you know, check your vehicle.
Well, I mean, that's assuming the vans are enough capacity for whatever program.
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah,
And you don't need to add
buses.
buses or rentals or something.
Yeah, I think what Kate's saying though is
It's
if the
availability.
night before. If you guys if all of a sudden the forecast changes, right?
Mhm.
And you can't go to the beach,
Mhm.
what you said is that you would have confirmed that you had vehicles 2 days prior,
Mhm. Yeah. That should be an appropriate amount of time.
right? But if you've only got 16 hours notice because the forecast changed, then. I don't think you can meet the 48.
Correct.
I don't know whether you should just like,
I hear you.
Yeah, it could box you into something
Yeah.
that's,
Which, I mean,
I mean, if that's
It's
the
not the end
point,
of the
that's the
world, right?
point,
Yeah.
but just to be aware of,
Yeah,
no, but you probably need some language there.
yeah.
or you just need, I mean, it does limit the. I mean, either you've got to be thinking ahead a little more,
Mm.
even when it doesn't look like you need a contingency of making
Right.
sure. Or making sure that you have contingencies that don't require transportation.
right.
So, I mean, that's,
And we did discuss that, and that is something like, you know, in this situation. You know, if you end up with extra kids and not enough seats, for kids. Then we would have to change the programming for that day. It would have to be, you know. I think some parents would probably be upset because, you know, they were expecting to go on a specific field trip. But at the end of the day, if we're trying to abide by this transportation policy, then we would end up in a situation where we would either have to find an additional vehicle, like you're kind of saying at last minute, or yeah, we would have to change the programming to be something, you know, at home base, so to speak.
and I guess I think I mean, the 48 hours kind of makes sense at that point, because then you're making that decision ahead of time and giving everybody some heads up about it. You have somewhere to,
Right,
okay, you know, I can't take everybody on this day. We need to change the program for this week, to something else, but you get a day warning.
yeah.
Readjust.
I mean, that would be ideal. And we do that as often as we possibly can be.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but as often as you possibly can won't suffice. This is every time.
Yep.
Just making sure that's clear, the way it's written.
yep. Okay. We will have further conversation about that.
Just limits some flexibility.
Right,
But, you know, to an extent, limiting flexibility and needing to plan in advance also eliminates some of the
yep.
Touche.
mayhem that can result from trying to make things happen at the last minute.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think maybe gather up the other unwritten guidelines
Okay.
and figure out how we incorporate those, whether that's as part of this policy or an SOP for the staff or something. But I think unwritten policies should write them down.
did the driver sign off on, did you mention sign on? So like the roster of people who would drive people has to sign off on it.
They already, to drive the town vehicles, there is a driver, like a vehicle use
Yeah.
policy. So they have to review all of that and sign off on that, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that'd be simple, just to kind of add this into that.
And that does include the line, employees operating a municipal vehicle or personal vehicle or working shall drive defensively and all applicable traffic regulation. Isn't there?
Well, there's a lot there, yeah.
Or, right. Okay,
Okay.
all right, so more to come on that. Other policy. I think. Sort of along the same vein. One thing I think I mentioned this last time I looked at, like the school board has. I don't know if anybody else has gone to look, but a very extensive. List of policies. I don't think that we need. To go quite that far, but I think they're probably, and we probably have. There are probably a lot of policies that are not all gathered in one place. So that maybe is step one to.
Okay.
To gather policies in one place and see what we have. And then go from there. And theirs is everything from. How they operate.
Is this like a web page that they have?
So what is
Okay.
on the school department webpage? Yep. I mean, they have. There are 11 sections and each has probably 15 documents on, so.
I mean, yeah, so we can, we do on our website have a like forms and documents, icon. And so we can, that would be something we could definitely do, would be to pull them together, because all of the policies as far as like signing up for programs, so cancellation policy, transfer policy, refund policy, all of that stuff is in there. We could put that in as one section. Then we also have like the handbooks for the participants. So there's like a discipline policy for the participants. And then we also have like a handbook for our staff. So that would be, think of it almost as like discipline policy for staff. I'm just using discipline as an example. I'm not trying to like focus on that. There's many other policies in there. But yeah, we could do that and pull that onto one web page.
Yeah, and there's, like the park rentals.
Yep.
Beach parking out at a time frame, then open and close times, then there's lots of those things. There's also a number, there's. Both the school committee and the select board have policies about how to interact with staff. More things along those lines, pointing to other committees, just all, things that we do but are not necessarily written down.
Okay.
It makes sense to start writing it down. I don't know if anybody like to volunteer to help with that.
Do you want it to just be department, or you want it to be like, we would have a department section, we would have a park commission section?
I'd probably both, yeah.
Both?
I think probably
Okay.
both, yeah.
Yeah, because is there an internal site for Parks and Rec employees to go find all the docs they need?
Yep. So internally, we have, we call it our M drive. That's where we keep all of our internal documents for our department. The M drive also has a, public folder. So if there's other departments like HR, if they have forms, finance, if they have forms, we can find all of that stuff in one location, but that is an internal, that's not something that's available to the public.
But yeah, that's your employee, some stuff you need to know.
Yep, So yeah, as far as that goes, yes, we have all of that stuff internally. As far as it being gathered and having like all policies in one place, don't have that. It would be broken up between like, Camp T, all the information for Camp T's in this folder. And that we have it all broken up into years as well. So, yeah, but Saul's talking about like having a one-stop shop, like online. That's something that we would have to put that together.
Yeah,
We can do
for
that.
public consumption,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Uh, uh, all right, yeah, so I don't know, is there anybody jumping up?
There's nothing I am worse at, yeah, but, yeah. So if you want to sign up for failure.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, well, we will do what we can.
Are you saying to, just peruse other, policies? that-
No, it's to hopefully help with sort of gathering what we have and organizing it in some fashion.
I mean, we do have a new office coordinator, so that's something I can, task him to do, and that would be a good training for him as well, so it's kind of like a, scavenger hunt. Find the policies, put them together.
Yeah. Dual
So-
purpose, yeah, no, that's good, okay.
So,
That
yeah,
might make
Uh,
more
It's
sense.
a good idea.
But yeah, I would encourage all of us to go look at both the select board and the school committee's list of policies, and if there are, as we sort of go through this, figure out, are there things that we're missing,
yeah,
things that we should include, or we can add those as we go.
awesome, yeah.
One, I guess, potential change I think we could make, related to our earlier topic is giving you the authority to grant permits and waivers for
Yeah.
park use.
Okay,
Rather than having the routine ones come to us.
yeah,
The way that the select board is going ahead with I think with the liquor licenses. That 1-day permits is they have authorized the town administrator to grant any that he sees fit.
oh, interesting,
If he is not going to grant them, then it goes to the select board.
oh, interesting,
So
okay,
do something so.
yeah.
A lot
So
of
in
them are
that-
probably repetitive, right?
Yes,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, majority of the ones that we do are.
right. And then I think he brings them into us at each meeting. Say,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, like we know the road race comes in September. And it's
Yep.
This and that, and the other, and they're all routine and regular. Somebody wants to have a birthday party wherever.
Yeah, birthday parties, I usually don't bring two guests, that's like, if it's under like 25 people, I
Okay.
just do that. But if it's gonna be something like people are advertising as like a public, hey, we're having an event, please come here, those are usually the ones that I bring to you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Alicia, are there any policies that you think we should bring forward and discuss as a commission?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We definitely need to revisit the sports, fees and things like that. I think especially with knowing that the caliber of the fields that we now have is gonna be, we're gonna see increased desire to use that space. So, I think it does make sense to look at, re-looking at people outside of the community, if there are outside organizations or, you know, what that looks like as far as the cost to be able to rent those fields. I think we also need to think about like, what is included in those things? Is it just like you're just getting permission to use the space? Is it, you know, you're getting the fields lined before you use them? Like all of those kind of things, I think we need to look at that a little bit more.
And do we manage that, Or-
Yeah,
the sports fields?
field use, yeah, there's a field use, permitting, which we do run those. And we are gonna have to look at, like you had mentioned before with the new building. I know that, the town administrator had said he wants, me to meet with him and, superintendent to kind of discuss basics of like what that would look like, you know, because we're sharing that building together. So I know that's something we're gonna do relatively soon, but ultimately, you know, that's gonna bring forth some sort of policy that we'll have to discuss here.
Especially because I know the auditorium at the high school seems to be in demand, so I imagine having another theater
Yeah,
available in town, whenever that is.
right.
There could be interest in different groups having
Yeah,
presentations there.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had, like I said, we've had a lot of requests already. But because, you know, we have this, you know, legal restriction, we can't do anything at the moment.
We could give people permission to use it, we just can't charge.
That's unclear.
Really?
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out all of that because there has to be a set understanding of the usage of that space. And right now, you know, we all kind of moved in a whirlwind and there's been all kinds of other issues that have happened with that building. So it's not like, you know, we've had a lot of time to be, hey, let's sit down and talk about, you know, we've done it the best that we can, but, you know, we really need to think about the future use of that a bit more. Yeah,
Yeah.
not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I can definitely put a list together, and send that out to you guys. Can do that. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about raising the per participant use to the youth leagues. We raised it from $15 or
Yeah, it was
2 years
15
ago.
originally, and then it went up to 30.
so we
So
were gonna do it again.
we said we would revisit it, I think, every 3 years. Which we're probably past that, if I'm honest. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure, so.
most of their registrations are opening up for spring, so.
And we've already told everybody that if we're going to do some sort of increase, we would do it, like, so if we made that decision, let's say in January, we're not gonna charge.
Yeah, you have to give them time to.
You
build
have,
it.
yeah, cause we can't expect them to just pay that out, that's not
Yeah.
realistic. So yeah, we've been really flexible with that,
Yeah.
in the past, and I would suggest continuing that.
Understood.
Did you ever get wells drilled?
So Kerper has a well.
Okay.
Yes, there are a few. I need to check in with not Lake Water, sorry, Highway and see if there are ones that we still need to look at. Cause I know they've been putting them in like where they can, so I think they did some sort of well for the common.
Right.
So I know they've been like slowly doing them, as they have the ability to do so, but I can check back in with them. Where they're at with those, if there's any outstanding for any of the fields. Yeah,
They seem, I mean, the jet in the baseball fields.
So Whitcomb uses that, there's a little pond
Mhm.
Okay.
over there. So I think they use it when they're desperate.
Okay.
I don't think there's a well there. Chet may have sprinklers on it.
I've never seen sprinklers on it, but it's very green, so I don't.
That's why I think it has sprinklers, because it's one of the best
It
looking
is,
fields. in
yeah.
town.
It looks
It
fabulous.
looks great. Yeah.
Shaker Lane, but that doesn't matter because that's going away.
Right.
anyways, But I think there was a sprinkler system on that at one time.
I don't-
There's some kind of water in the outfield. Some kind of water lines in the outfield.
So we'll,
Separate from the puddle.
Those, that doesn't matter.
Right.
we'll have to figure out what that is gonna be. I mean, obviously, if we can have irrigation installed, that's obviously the optimal
Yes.
use that we would like it to have. So, as we're going into the process of having to build those, that's definitely should be part of the conversation.
Yeah, and I was just wondering about in terms of I know the water bill was a big chunk of costs. We're still paying water bills.
I honestly, I have not seen any of those like $800 or $8,000 water bills in a long time. So I think the wells where we needed them have worked, and that is either I'm not getting those bills, which would be really bad. But I don't think that. Yeah, any of the water bills that I've gotten for Kerper have been fine. I've not had any issues with that, so.
What about the high schools also? All the soccer fields at the high schools, right?
So that might be through the school department
Hmm.
that they pay that.
So those are all.
Yeah. Yeah, those are irrigation lines, yeah. What?
There's a drain field under that field, which is said. I don't know. Hopefully
I
they're
got
not
you.
irrigating far enough to get down a drain field to add water to the drain, but
I
anyway,
know.
that's it.
Somebody else's.
Somebody else's problem.
I do have a question about the beach fees, how we had a lot of conversations going into this summer about trying to raise money for clean lakes and finding money.
Yeah,
Is that also something we need to
Yes.
discuss again?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. It'd probably be good to check back in with them and see if they're. I know they had a lot of issues with the plans that they were. The permitting and things did not go as they had hoped, so.
Yeah.
Ended up. Yeah, that would be a good one to review again. Okay.
anything else? Okay. So I found out that Windows 10 is
Go away.
going away in October.
What is going away?
Windows 10, any support for Windows 10, which I think is what is happening in
Yeah.
the,
Starting to break down.
it's starting to break down. Okay. That is correct. Okay, so special events, yep, we had our Oktoberfest. A big thanks to Dirigible, Tavern in the Square, Springbrook Farm, Perfect Party Rentals and Twin Brother Rentals. They really helped transform that space behind 36 King Street. And I mean, it is a totally different feel than having it at 550, but I thought it was kind of a cozy, nice experience. I had a lot of positive feedbacks from families. Some folks were like, we were there for 5 hours, don't know how that happened, but so that's a good sign that people are having a good time and enjoying themselves. So yeah, it was a really great experience. I think talking with the police details, I think we estimated that we probably had about like 2,000 to 2,500 come through. throughout the day. So, pretty big event. I would say a little bit smaller than last year, but you know, we also aren't right off of 495. So yeah, it was a really awesome experience. It was great. So coming up, we've got trunk or treat. That is going to be at Alumni Field, in the parking lot. We typically do that area. We'll shut that off, have, parking over at the middle school. We will have food trucks there. The to be determined is, I know Tim's still working on, solidifying a couple of those. So as soon as we know, we'll get that information out. We do a costume parade at 6 p.m. And then once that's over, we will open the actual trunk or treating. So that will start at 6:15. We usually say the event goes till 8 o'clock, but realistically, it's when candy runs out and everyone disappears. So, yeah, if anybody is interested in putting together, having a trunk, a display, and giving out candy, they can register with us, so they can give us a call and we can get them all set up. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a lot of fun to be able to like wrap a trunk and, you know, do all that. So that's a really cool experience if you haven't had one. It's a great opportunity for businesses, just to kind of, you know, get out there and meet people in the community. So again, yeah, we're looking for trunks. So if you're interested, get in touch with us. All right. And then I've got, okay, so director update. Saul, you had asked me to do kind of like an overall review of fiscal year 25, which is actually last year. We're in 26 now.
Yes.
Ski budget. So I broke this down into 3 slides. It's because the revenue, I wanted to try to be as clear as I could be with it. And with it, we have, that shows on. No, I just put the show button, that shouldn't be sure. Okay, so I apologize for that. That should say Wachusett on there. All the prices are correct, just that title was not. So we have 2 different ski options. So one would be at Wachusett Mountain. Typically that was last year, 3rd grade up through high school. This year we are not going to allow 3rd graders to go to Wachusett. We have made that decision. So that will be a bit of a difference for this year. But that year it was 3rd grade up to high school. And then Neshoba is essentially kindergarten through 2nd grade. And there were parents that could have decided if they wanted like their 3rd or 4th graders to go to Neshoba, that we let that open for them so they could choose to go to Wachusett for Neshoba. So the reason I kind of explain that difference is that Wachusett operates one way and Neshoba operates another way. We're trying to switch over to the way Wachusett operates this year for Neshoba. So we're hoping that we can do that. So what that means is what we do on our website specifically for Wachusett is we're only charging for the transportation and for supervision. So that was for the 6 weeks, it was $225 per registrant. And the rest, if you wanted to sign up for lessons or to pay for the lift passes, or if you wanted to do rentals, all of that you would have to do through a website on Wachusett that was based off of our program. So Wachusett took in that revenue for all of that side of it. We were only charging for the transportation and supervision for Wachusett. That was it. The numbers for Wachusett are higher. So we had 111 registrants for between those age ranges. So this is broken up between 3rd and 5th grade, 6th and 8th, and 9th and 12th. So you can see the number of registrants in each category. And the very top is there was a, how do you want to say? You could get a guest pass for someone. So if you, I don't know, as a parent wanted to go and ski with your kid, we could get a special rate, which was like $55 for a pass. So if you wanted to drive up there and like ski with your kid, you could do that. So obviously not that many people took us up on that pass, but we had a couple that did that. So it's something nice that, we can offer the parents or, if they've got aunt, uncle visiting, whatever. Those are essentially the categories in which we were charging for Wachusett specifically. So, like I said, that is how we're trying to set things up with Neshoba this year. They have a new system, so we're hoping that they might be able to do that. But the way that we did it last year, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. So on here, we have, you have multiple options to be able to purchase for Neshoba. So that would include transportation, which that would go to us, lift ticket. You could do transportation, lift ticket, and rental. Transportation, lift ticket, lesson. It goes on, right?
Yeah.
It's really complicated. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had everything on here so you can see each of those different line items that we put up. Helmets are required. So if anybody needed to rent a helmet for the season, which would be those 6 weeks, it would be an additional $50. So at the top, I have a little asterisk which says review of the Neshoba revenue. And the reason I put the asterisk in there is, we took in $27,180, but at the end of February, we cut a check to Neshoba to pay for the lift tickets, the rentals, and the lessons, all of those things. For a cost of $21,905, right? So that's a very, very large invoice to have to pay at the end, which, I mean, we have that money, obviously, we took in that revenue to be able to do that. But if we're able to do it the other way, it just kind of looks a little bit better with the overall budgeting. Because we have 48 kids that are signed up. And if we have 27,000, right, that looks kind of weird. But yeah, all that money goes back to Neshoba. So at the end of the day, I broke it down into each of those individual groups. So there's Neshoba Ski, which has the revenue. Wages, we do have staff that go and help us out on each of those days. So we have a wage line that we pay those individuals, and then the expenses. And at the bottom, I just kind of broke out those expenses so you could see what exactly was being paid. So in that expenses, you have D-Bus, which is what we use to go to Neshoba. That overall invoice to Neshoba Valley Ski said for the lift passes, the lessons and the rentals, the MBT bus, that is the coach bus that we use that take the kids to Wachusett. And then at the end of the day, there were some of those Wachusett guest passes that were purchased. Wage breakdowns, we have the individuals, how many hours they worked and what the rate of pay was, and ultimately what they made during that 6-week time frame. Some of them worked both the Neshoba and the Wachusett days, so they would work Tuesday and Wednesday, and some of them just chose to work one or the other. So some have more hours than others. So at the end of the day, if you look at the overall net value that you get from, because our ski line is going to be everything ski related, so it would have the Wachusett program and the Neshoba program in all together. So overall, you would get a net of $12,000, a little bit more than that, before we start calculating in the program coordinator's wage and benefits. And we're calculating in about 100 hours because there's two. So one takes Neshoba, one takes Wachusett. So they're not having two people be out, you know, back to back 2 nights in a row. It's a lot. So they put in about 50 hours worth of time, pre, during, and after. And then the office coordinator also helps out with doing rosters and communication and marketing, things like that. So once we take those out, we're kind of left with around 6,600. And it might seem like that's a bit, like a lot. However, we do have other items that we have to cover with our programming throughout the year. And those are sort of those indirect costs. So below, I have that list that I presented at our budget hearing, which was in fiscal year 26. Yes, because we were talking about 25 in there. And so overall, if I get rid of the staff wages, which we've done that percentage of inclusion, so I took that out, we have still $116,000 that we still have to cover for our department. So those programs do have to be in the positive so that we're able to pay that at the end of the year.
I can see why you want to get the same program for Neshoba as what you said.
Absolutely.
A lot cleaner.
It is a lot cleaner. And it's a lot to keep track of, because at that point, I mean, either way, we are gonna end up with passes, and we end up, especially with the Neshoba one, we end up like handwriting every single one of those. It says like, you know, Kate signed up for skiing and Kate is doing rentals, but no lessons. And I gotta make sure that Kate, you have yours. So there is a lot of internal work that we have to do as far as logistics to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And then we end up in situations where, Kate, you didn't bring your pass today, so we have to get you another pass. So, you know, those things happen. It's just the way it rolls. So.
Versus what you said, I think the parents pick it up ahead of time, right?
I
I forget.
don't know that they do. I think we give those out too. However, they run off of an RFID chip. So all of that is on their side. They schedule and say, hey, Littleton, you know, your group is going to be here on Wednesdays and you have access to the lifts between 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And then as soon as 7 o'clock rolls around, it shuts off. And, you know, Kate, if you try to go in for that last run at 7:01,
Can't get on.
you can't get on. You can't go through the locks. You know,
Always trying to duck the line.
man,
It's true.
Um,
It's true.
you're the one we gotta go find at the end of the night. Make sure we can get the bus leaving.
Probably true.
Yeah, so again, that's kind of like a good advertisement for technology being extremely helpful. So there, we have 2 different programs essentially. And they do operate a bit differently because there's different types of operations at each hill.
Okay, and so for this coming
Mhm.
season, it will be what, kindergarten through third grade at Neshoba?
Yes, yeah, so there will be no options, for third grade to request to be at, Wachusett.
But you could request to be in Neshoba if you're
Correct.
fourth or.
Yep, if you are a parent that would want your kid to go to, Neshoba and it was in Russell Street, we can arrange that. You know, if you want your high schooler to go, I don't know that we can do that because that's more transportation issues that we have to work out.
So how do you get somebody to register for this? How is this, when
A
you,
lot of communication or,
so is my rec board is something like, is it capable of doing, if I have a kid who's there every other week and wants a helmet and is just going to take the bus and has their own skis? How do I register for that?
so that's why we create all of those individual options. So, when you go into my rec,
You
if
just click,
you'll look at it and say, my kid needs transportation. Needs
yeah,
a
so you
lift
just
ticket.
click on whatever.
And so then it will register you
Yeah.
for that, you pay that amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we have people that are like, oh man, I want to do lessons and I forgot to take
Yeah.
lessons. We'll help you
Okay.
re-register for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas if you're doing Wachusett, you know, you're just signing up for transportation and
Yeah.
supervision with
Yeah,
us.
and everything else is on
And
there.
then, yeah, once you sign up with us for that, we send you the information on the website that you're supposed to go to. This is the code that you use on the website. And you would register there.
And then when Neshoba sends you the bill at the end of the year.
Yep.
It ties back.
Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
Which is, you know, another reason it would be nice to
Yeah.
not,
Yes,
you know,
Yeah.
have that bill at the end. It's something that,
Does Neshoba have this set up though, or is it something you're trying to get them?
they have a new
To do.
system. Yeah, so their system is able to do it. The question is, will they be ready for this season or is it gonna have to be next? So that's the program coordinators are working with them to figure that out. Yeah. So we may have one more year of this madness, which is okay. I mean, this is how we've been operating. It's, you know, we can do it. But yeah, it's a lot easier for us to be able to do it. Yeah.
And so, look, we're still working on the final details of this year's, but I mean, in terms of the planning, it's still gonna be roughly whatever it is,
So the only reason that we would increase prices are if their prices increase. If our seasonal staff wages increased. Just those would be or if the cost of transportation, if those things increase, that's the only thing. We're not saying, hey, every year incrementally, we're gonna increase our prices by 5%. That's not how we do things. We try to keep them as low as possible. And we only increase them if we see that there's going to be some sort of financial increase that we have to be able to plan for in advance.
but it's still looking at basically 100 Wachusett-ish.
I mean, those numbers might change a bit because, like I said, we're the third graders. So I would see we probably have maybe the numbers go down maybe a little bit for Wachusett and increase a little bit on Neshoba, just
So
to,
that was just whoever signed up, not a limitation that we have.
no, these are actual numbers. So this,
And do we have any limits on?
it's based off of bus.
Okay.
So, we are based off of the transportation. So if, essentially, we will cap it for whatever the amount of space that we have on, for what you said, it would be the charter bus. If we see that those numbers are increasing, then we'll put on second bus. But if we're not seeing those numbers go up that much, then yeah, we would keep that cap where it is.
And then the most important question of all of this.
Yeah.
Is, when does this open up for registration?
We've had plenty of people asking. So we do have the information from Wachusett and the Neshoba now. So they are working on inputting it right now, and it should be up, I believe, October 27th was the date that they gave us. So, yeah,
Hey, your registration's in.
let's go. I love that people get so excited about it. It's like, I'm not even thinking about snow right now, and you're like,
No fly.
go! Like,
I think about
If
that
I
every
miss
day.
this.
every day.
Every day.
Let's get those, yeah.
Last week,
Go
the
for it.
skiers all fired up their guns, so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
time.
It's time. We had a frost. It's winter now.
That's it.
Well, thank you for breaking that all out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if there's other stuff that you guys want to see like that, or if you have feedback on how you'd like to see this different. Again, it's like, I know this is a lot of information. So, if there's a way that you guys feel like I could simplify it or any feedback, obviously, you know, I'm open to that. So I want to make it easy for you guys. I want to make it easy for the public. So whatever I can do.
Yeah, I mean, while we're here, I'll solicit any suggestions for the next meeting. I'd like to do one of these, like a program each meeting. If there is a program that anybody's interested in.
Sailing.
How about
You want to see it? It's just like, whatever you like.
But Peter had something.
I was just gonna say that the other big one is Camp T.
Oh, yeah.
Just, yeah.
I mean, yeah, so I would say over,
That big.
yeah, over the winter and probably, you know, Camp T probably as we're rolling into planning Camp T, you know, before you set rates for Camp T,
Yeah,
let's
okay.
show that one.
So I'll do that.
Uh,
I think we should have everything in now. There's no reason anything would be. I think there's one performer, but I'm gonna process that next packet. So yeah, I should be able to do that.
And yeah, sailing, like maybe do sailing and fishing together.
I'm gonna do that. Okay. And this is T for November. Let's say sailing and fishing for December.
And I can keep going if we want more.
Run down a list of priorities, like.
Teen adventures.
Yeah.
There's lots of moving pieces with that
That's
too.
good. How the expense allocation for Camp T. But the accountants, so you can probably. How that works.
Okay, oh, if you like, come in, let's have a conversation about it. If there's, no, I'm dead serious, because if I am not an accountant
No.
by obviously trade,
Mhm.
so if there's things that you can help me do to
Mhm.
show the stuff
Yeah,
better,
yeah.
I love that. You're looking at this and you're like, oh, so too much.
I love spreadsheets. Do spreadsheets, I look at spreadsheets all the
Oh, Norm.
time.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love that. Okay. And are we good with that? Or you have any other questions?
Great.
Okay. So hiring update, here are our new people. So Jeff Babbitt, he's our program coordinator. He's also a professional ultimate frisbee player for Boston Glory, which is pretty cool. And we have Nate Glencross, office coordinator. He also has been working for the assessor's office the last couple of years, or last couple of summers, I should say. So really excited to have them. They're both on board. really great. They've been, yeah, ready to learn and excited about being here. So it's really cool. If you get a chance to come in and meet them, they're lovely people. So,
When did they start? Did they both start the same?
yeah, they both started the same day. So it was last Tuesday was their first day. Yeah, so we're going on to second week here.
Any ultimate programs in the future?
Of course, there's going, it's funny because we've had Buddha, I forget, Cat is gonna kill me because I'm forgetting what it's standing for.
Lost in multiple discs.
Is that what it is? Thank you. Wow. So they have been doing a program that's been, it's okay. So, yeah, I'm really curious to see, if Jeff can definitely drum up, you know, some new programming in that aspect, because it's, I mean, it's a pretty awesome sport.
Yeah.
Really tough to play and, yeah, we have so many athletic,
Since I played high school.
yeah.
He was on a billboard on the side of 93.
Was it really?
Really?
His
Still is.
league's legit.
Which ones counted? Like when I played, it was very,
No billboards?
no billboards, no referees, nothing commercial. Like it was the antithesis of
Right,
a commercial sport, and now it is very professional and on TV
Yeah.
or on YouTube. But
yeah,
yeah, that's changed a lot.
so. We're very lucky, to have them both, they're really, really awesome.
But yeah, you would think he should be able to slap together an ultimate frisbee program in his sleep.
Right.
Absolutely, and that was one of the things, like, on his resume, he has been the, youth programming.
Was it Lincoln? Or where was it? But yeah.
So, yeah, he
Yeah.
did summer camp this past year, I ran the summer camp in, Lincoln. But he also, for the New York
Yes,
Empire
that's right.
and for Boston Glory, has been running their, youth, programs. So, yeah, we're really excited. He's a wicked sharp kid, super smart. MRPA, so this Thursday, we are having our annual, advocacy day. So Tim and I are gonna go down to the Massachusetts State House. It's something we've started, I think this will be the third year of doing it. It's been really awesome. We do sort of a presentation about Parks and Recreation and, you know, working with our legislators. One of them, I think it's Representative Vaughn. He's, I think, from Metro. I'm not 100% sure, but he's been super active about different topics and things that have come up with Parks and Recreation. He's got a bill out there for the AEDs, the portable ones for fields. So you know, there's a lot of things that we still have out there. We've got Christian's Law, that's still, you know, out on the floor. We also have, there's been a lot of different discussions about turf fields and whether, you know, we should have requirements, if we should even allow them. So there's a lot of discussion going on about a lot of different topics within Parks and Rec. So Tim and I will be there. Hopefully we'll get a chance to interact with Senator Eldridge or Representative Arciero. That would be awesome. But it's a really great experience in the future. If you guys ever want to go to one of those and experience it, it's really a cool thing. So I'm really glad that we've been doing it the last couple of years. But so we will be there on Thursday. Public input.
Why say?
Thank you. Good. Some new business. This has been something I think you guys have known about this for a while.
Big warning on the website. I was like, what's happened?
I interesting. This is probably part of it, like slowly dying. But we we had gotten funds to resurface the basketball courts at 300 King Street. We've gone through the whole process of, putting them out to bid. We have a company that we're gonna use. So we are going to, try to get it done, obviously, before winter sets in. So we are gonna close them, Thursday through the 27th. Much like our tennis court, they'll fix the cracks and they're going to resurface it, but it also will take 10 days to cure. So we are asking that the public stay off of those courts in that time frame. We will have advertisement like that up. Tim and I are gonna go out and put a fence up around the perimeter of the courts. Yeah, just please stay off them so we can do something very nice and repair them so they can be great for another 5 years. So that's just some new business.
Doing any different lining or there was talk about that? At one
We did talk about it at one time. I think we're just gonna do it just as a half step.
Stratus.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. I think it's just gonna break down. I don't know.
Old business is nice.
Old business,
Computer.
we got nothing.
It's your computer.
It is 100% my computer, I know. It has a date with I'm team tomorrow. So just some more awesome photos from this past Oktoberfest. Yeah, it was really nice to have it amongst the trees and in the green and
It was funny, I saw the tractor driving, because they drive past my house.
oh, the Springbrook one, yeah.
And I saw it going by going, that's an odd collection of things on a tractor.
Now you
And then-
know.
And well, no, then I saw it there. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So they were really great and they donated some of the pumpkins and the corn that we used. It's funny because everyone's like, oh, it's so beautifully decorated. It is, however, a lot of people don't realize we use it for safety purposes. So we put the mums, the pumpkins and the corn out so people aren't running into the guy lines. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but that's the reality. It works really well. So there is a purpose to having it decorated the way that it is. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Right, so it was definitely nice having it with grass and trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not.
And
Not a parking lot.
Right. 110.
Yeah.
And the mix of sun and shade is really,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
all right. We've had, no motion, so this is the first one. One person gets a shot.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will second that.
Motion in a second. All those in favor?
I.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, Littleton. Have a good night.